Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea. For thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor, that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and said, Go and search diligently for the young child, and when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, and frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way.
Herod, holding on to the known, the birth of a child is meant to be a time of rejoicing, full of hope and love. It should be recognised that this is not the case for everyone, and Christmas can be a difficult time for those for whom hopes for a new life have been cruelly dashed. For Mary and Joseph, this extraordinary birth, unexpected, unprecedented, should have been a time of rejoicing, full of hope and love. There was a measure of these things, reflected in the angels' songs and the visit of local folk and distant strangers, but all too soon it turned difficult and dangerous. Singing her lullaby to the newborn one moment, and then. fulfillment of the prophecy of Micah, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. The birth took place during the reign of Herod the Great. This crafty and cruel monarch secured his position over Palestine by successfully manipulating Marcus Antonius. Although he erected many ornate buildings, the temple in Jerusalem included, and was on occasionally exceptionally generous, he steadily lost favour with the Jewish people. His mixed lineage, you see, half Idumean and half Jewish, made him suspect, and his Edomite blood made him unacceptable. Towards the end of his 36-year reign, the very time when Jesus was born, he became increasingly cruel. Suspicious that his own family was plotting his overthrow, this lovely man murdered his favourite wife, Mariamne, her mother, 2 of her sons, and his own eldest son. Augustus, the Roman emperor, who for years had retained confidence in Herod, finally acknowledged this. I quote, "It is safer to be Herod's pig than his son." The first to visit the newborn child were astrologers from the East, often referred to as wise men, indicating that they were thought to possess secret wisdom concerning the movement of the stars and the influence that this would have over the course of human history. Upon arriving in Jerusalem, the Magi asked Herod where they could find the baby to be born King of the Jews. It's no surprise that the arrival of foreigners with precious gifts asking where this newborn might be caused considerable distress to the already agitated King Herod. His hold upon the country was at best shaky, and he looked to past victories and favours as if they would sustain his terrible reign. Holding on to the known in the past is never a wise thing. Should a bona fide Jewish king appear, Herod's reign would tumble and fall, especially given the contemporaneous widespread expectation that a universal king would appear and bring about an age of peace and justice and hope and prosperity, none of which he had achieved or could achieve. After the Magi went on their way, Herod sent his own astrologers to Bethlehem to find the infant with the alleged purpose that he himself would go to worship him. The cruel hypocrisy is obvious. It's what we would expect from a tyrant who, shortly before he died, ordered that a large group of prominent citizens be imprisoned and put to death at the moment of his own death. In this way, he guaranteed that there would be sorrow and tears at the time of his death. Of course, neither the Magi nor the astrologers brought him the information he wanted or needed, and so he set about slaughtering the innocents, in the hope that the newborn King of the Jews, who they were seeking, would be caught up in the slaughter. Oh dear, what utter grief and tragedy ensued when Herod, the much weakened and mistrusted king, sought to rebuild the power and strength he felt he'd enjoyed in former times. Totally self-centred, self-driven, self-deluded, as he tried to hold on to the known rather than give way to the hope which could have been born even in him if he had but truly found the Christ and knelt in real worship. So the lesson for us is look forward in hope with Christ, not backward in fear and vain desire like Herod. Herod, poor, poor soul.